together a special team with special privileges. Join me, but you will have your revenge.
I want new ones.
And what do you want him to say?
Wolverine.
A comic book icon seeks revenge in X-Men Origins, Wolverine. I'm Ben Lyons from E! Entertainment.
And I'm Ben Mankiewicz from Turner Classic Movies. How do you keep a long-running film franchise fresh? Well, you go back to the beginning. It's what our first movie has done. X-Men Origins, Wolverine. Hugh Jackman sheds his Oscar tap shoes for those familiar claws, playing Wolverine for the fourth time. But in this installment, we get the backstory.
We're going to make you indestructible. But first, we're going to have to destroy you. That you will be able to withstand virtually anything. It's called adamantium. You're going to have to embrace the other side. Become the animal.
In the previous films, we know Wolverine is essentially ageless. Here we learn he was born before the Civil War, a sickly child who didn't know his own mutant gifts until an adolescent act of violent revenge forces him from the house with his older brother, who we learn is also a mutant, played by Liev Schreiber. They fight side by side in the Civil War, in World Wars I and II, and then in Vietnam, before a betrayal makes them mortal enemies.
Why? You don't call, you don't write. How else am I supposed to get your attention?
Wolverine's backstory was good stuff, but after the falling out with Schreiber, the story loses its center and it gets wobbly, losing credibility. After that medical procedure we showed you makes Wolverine almost indestructible, the Army officer in charge, played by Danny Houston, wants him dead. He tries twice before announcing, out of the blue, that he has a special gun that will do the job. Well, then use it right away.
Where's Victor?
Come back to base. I'll explain everything. We'll take Victor down together.
Wrong answer. After I kill Victor, I'm coming for you. You honor the animal, Colonel. You got it.
An hour in, it really rushes fairly incoherently to the end. I am prepared to suspend disbelief often in a fantasy film like this, but not all the time. Skip it.
Ben, what I love about the original X-Men franchise is that these are mutants who are not clearly defined by good and evil. There's some ambiguity to it. And they're also amongst us in the real world. They're side by side with human beings. Here, there's really none of that. It feels so isolated in its own universe, and I think that's really lost from the spirit of the X-Men franchise.
You know, those first two that you talked about, the first two X-Men, they were really character-driven movies, and I like the moral ambiguity in them. These last two, the previous one directed by Brett Ratner and this one directed by Gavin Hood, again, we've lost that sort of sense of character.
So many of the supporting characters here are simply introduced to see if audiences will want to see another spin-off movie with Ryan Reynolds' character. Deadpool is in one scene, and Gambit, who's a really cool character from the X-Men franchise, they throw him in here, not for the sake of the story in this movie, but just to introduce them to audiences to see if there'll be a spin-off, and it felt forced.
I did like his romance with Lynn Collins, and that sort of provides the motivation for his revenge. I'm a little over revenge as a theme for a lead character, but of course, look, a lot of women are going to go to this movie, and they're going to like it, because I'll be honest, I'm as heterosexual as the next guy, but when Hugh Jackman walks out there without his shirt on in the Canadian Rockies, you think, okay, that's a sexy guy.
You know, amazing to think we last saw him host the Oscars, and here he is now for the fourth time as Logan, Wolverine, and he can do both, musical theater and a huge action movie. So to his credit, he's definitely a true performer.
He did a nice job, but overall, not what I was looking for at all.
Definitely disappointed by this. I'm going to say skip it.